Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is foam roll. We're going to start with our quads. Bring one knee to the side, back and forth, all the way to the knee. Once you've done that on both sides, then you come around and you work a little bit on your calves. You can start by having your feet, this foot down on the side, but if you feel comfortable, you can bring your foot above. Once you've done your calves, like different angles, you want to move on to your hamstrings. And then your glutes. A bit longer than what I'm doing. And then finally, you do your IT band over here on the side. Like that. Once you've done that on both sides, you grab the ball and you go for your foot. Then you do some hip mobility. So we're going to start over here. You bring your leg across over to the side and you bring your knee down and back up. Do that a few times. Then with a hand next to your foot, you bring across and you stretch as high up as you can. Come back down and then do the other side. Come back down. And then from here, you sit up and you're going to go stand up and come back down. That's going to stretch your hip flexor and strengthen your hips at the same time. You do about 10 of these and then you move on to the other side. Next part of your warm-up is some walkouts. We'll do 10 walkouts. You walk all the way here and walk back. You do that 10 times. The final one is going to be coming from side to side. If you need to hold on to a TRX, you can, if that helps. You want to try to come as low as you can from side to side. Feel stretch here.
Okay.
Good? So we're going to start with 3 core exercises that you're going to do 3 times around. The first one is going to be your plank. You're going to start with 20 seconds just holding a normal plank and then 40 seconds with alternating leg raises. You're trying to keep your hips as square as possible, so you're trying not to let this happen when you're lifting your leg. The next one is going to be your classic side plank. So you're here, up here, you're holding here. If you can, you lift up the leg. You're going to do that for 45 to 60 seconds. And then your last one is going to be a hold. You're going to start up here, your legs up. You lift up your upper body, pushing your belly button in, and you slowly bring your legs down as far as you can without letting your back lift off from the mat. And then you just hold it there as much as you can. If you start to feel your back lifting, you bring your legs in and you take it back out. And you're going to do that for as long as you can hold that position for up to 10 seconds. Once you can't hold it for 10 seconds, you stop. Then the next exercise you're going to do requires a band. You're going to put the band around your feet and you're going to do a little bit of tube walking. So you start here with the squat position, stick your bum back, back is nice and straight, and really small steps. One way, you're going to do about 20 steps that way, and then 20 steps back. Take a little break, and then repeat it 2 more times. Next, you're going to need a kettlebell. You're going to start with some windmills. This works your obliques. You're going to start here. You're going to go try to touch the floor, keeping your arm up nice and straight, and back up. If you need to bend your front knee for flexibility, that is fine. You're trying to keep this arm as stable as you can. You're gonna do that 8 times on each side. And then we're gonna move on to the next exercise, which is gonna be squat to press. So you're gonna do 8 on each arm. So 1 squat and press up. 8 on one arm, and then 8 on the other arm. Then your next one is going to be single leg deadlift. You're going to hold the kettlebell with the leg that goes up that way. So you're going to go down and up, and then again down. You want to try to keep your hips nice and square, so you're trying to avoid, you don't want to do this, you want to keep it square here. You don't want to bend this knee too much, but it's also not locked. And you don't want to come down first before taking this up. So you want to make sure that your leg goes up, your back is straight, you go down, and then back up. So you do that 12 times on each leg. And then your final exercise is going to be some kettlebell swings. Single arm if you want, or double. So the double looks like this. You want to make sure that your back is straight, and you're imagining that you're shutting the door of the car with your bum. So it's all about this hip action and not so much about this, because we're trying to work your hamstrings and your glutes. If you want to do the single arm version, you change at the top. Either way, you're doing 1 minute. We're going to use the TRX. We've got 4 exercises with the TRX. The first one are some split lunges or split squats. You're going to put your foot in the TRX, jump forward, and you're going to go 1 and up, 2. You're going to do that 12 times on each leg. When you do your second and third rounds, if you want, you can add a weight, a small one or a big one. However you prefer, you can add that here and make it a little bit more difficult, like that. Over here, you embrace your core and you're just going from side to side, nice and controlled. You do that for, if you can, 1 minute. Okay, so the next one is your push-ups. You're gonna come here, have your hands just directly below you. You're pushing out and back up and out, back up. You're going to do that 12 times. To make it harder, you just make this a bit longer, or you walk your feet towards the wall. Your final one is your TRX rows. So you're here. The closer your legs are to the wall, the harder this is. You're up here. You're making sure you squeeze your shoulder blades together first, and then lift. And then again, squeeze, lift. You're doing that 12 times as well. You're going to take a band or a towel, something to hold your leg, and you're here. If you want to start nice and low, keeping your knees straight, and you slowly bring it up. If you can't take it up anymore, don't then bend your knee to bring it up. I'd rather you keep it a bit further down and stretch it that way. Then, once you've done that for a few seconds, maybe 20 seconds or so, you want to twist your ankle inwards so that you feel your calf stretching as well. Hold that for about 20 seconds and then change side. Then your next stretch is going to be for your glutes. You've got a few options for that. The first one is you can just put one leg over the other and try to come as close to your legs as possible. Otherwise, you can do the pigeon stretch. Starting point is high plank. You bring your foot forward and you take your arms forward. You should feel it over here. If you can feel it in your hip flexor, you just need to bring this foot a bit forward. A little bit forward, not like that. Like that. One is the couch stretch for your quads. So you can use your sofa if you want. You bring your foot all the way back to the back of the sofa and you come forward so that you feel that stretch. Also in your hip flexors. If you want, you can sit up and that really stretches your quads. So if you're here, you'll feel it in the hip flexors. If you're here, you'll feel it in your quads. If you want to feel it a bit more intensely on your quads, you can put a pillow down, come all the way down, and you're up here. And if you want it even more intense, you do it against the wall. For your chest and for your back, you can either use a band or the TRX. Both, you're going to just hold it here and you're going to turn around that way so that you feel your chest stretching out. So you can do the same with the TRX. Same principle. Just stretch it out. You can also hold on to the door, whatever you want, as long as you're turning around. And the next one for your back, over here, sit back and just wiggle around like that. You can do that with a band as well. And finally, the last stretch is for your shoulders, or the inside of your shoulders. You bring your hands back and just bring your hips as close to your heels as you can. You do that about 5 to 6 times. And if you want, if you still feel like you need a bit more stretching, you can go for the classic yoga. This will stretch out your abs a little bit. This will stretch out your lower back. You can just do that a few times. And then you can go shower.